This spot right here on this corner, a long time ago, you would have. I used to work this corner. So here we are, up in New England, looking for some classic monsters, stopping off at one of my favorite spots to hit. And right off the bat, first case, a whole bunch of my dad in one shot. Look at all this cool stuff. This dealer had just put this stuff in the case, so it hadn't been priced yet. So I wasn't able to ask about anything. And I would have been interested in a couple of these pieces because it's just stuff you don't see. I'm not necessarily a Flintstones collector, but once in a while you see something unique. It's
That
worth
right
asking
there.
about. I like that bubble pipe on the card. I think that's neat. I like the Dino holding pebbles. It's over there on the
Up in
right.
the right-hand
Yeah, it's like a
corner.
nightlight or something. I like that. The Dino and Pebbles nightlight thing I thought was neat. The real early stuff I like a lot. They made a ton of stuff. There's massive amounts of Flintstones memorabilia, but I do like a couple of the early things and wouldn't mind picking up a couple of those. Those Pebbles I thought were cool right there.
Those are
The
really
two,
cute.
yeah. I love Pebbles and Bam Bam.
We
I
already
do.
have Fred as a father.
I do. Fred's my dad, so I mean, can't get any more collectible than that. So, but I do like Pebbles and Bam Bam. So anytime I see anything that's unique, I'd like to find out. But if you're in the area, go check it out. And if you're a Flintstones collector. But anyway, this stand right here, once upon a time, used to have a Marx Frankenstein. When I was a little kid, my dad took me into this store, and not little, whatever. But and I remember seeing a Marx Frankenstein in here, and it was the first time I'd ever seen one in person. I'd seen it on the Munsters, but I'd never seen one in person. And this store, that stand right there, that vendor who'd been there for God knows how long, was the first time I'd ever seen one. But
Yeah,
here's
that's
some
really
neat stuff. I
awesome.
mean, like that was cool. That E.T.
Yeah.
FICO bill or something was like E.T. wants his
Pay
money.
your phone bill. Like,
Right?
I mean, that's great advertising if that's what that
If you don't
was.
pay your bill, you won't be able to phone home. It's Jane Mansfield.
Always good to see Jane.
This store's got a lot of stuff. There's a lot of Halloween stuff left over. So, which is, like I've said it a million times in previous episodes that we were doing in October, when you're looking for Halloween stuff, the time to hit the antique stores is then because that's when a lot of it's out. I mean, there's still some stuff lingering now, I'm sure, in vendor booths. So if you get out there soon, you may be able to find some cool stuff.
Yes, and definitely hurry because it's only a matter of time before the Christmas stuff hits the
That's
shelves.
right. Christmas is coming, kids. No matter how bad you want to push it off a little bit and give a little bit of space there, they're pushing it. Mariah is melting and
She has been thawed out and is ready to wreak havoc on your
Mariah's
ears
melting.
for the next couple of weeks to
It
terrorize us
It won't
all.
be long now. Every store you'll be going into is gonna have Christmas
I think
music
I already
playing.
heard it once and I'm like, oh
Oh
no.
wow,
It's too soon.
it's way too soon.
Too soon.
Yeah, you gotta wait till Thanksgiving before that. But anyway,
Yeah. When the clock strikes midnight.
this particular store right here is one of those places that you could be in for a while,
Yeah.
because everything is piled in almost like an estate sale. Some antique stores you go into, everything's in glass booths and very bright and presented like a store. Some antique stores are more or less like giant estate sales where you've got to dig through boxes and look around the corners of things and try to find stuff buried in, you can find things behind other things. And
This was a cool booth.
yeah, lots
They
of
have
great stuff.
this one's always there and always has really cool Halloween stuff coming and going out of it.
Yeah,
And I mean, just look at all that stuff.
yeah, great stuff. This is the first time too, I will say, that I mean I've never seen so many Thanksgiving Beazle decorations
I think it's
ever.
because it's New England. I don't remember seeing Thanksgiving cutouts when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I
there
think
was
New England
so
might embrace
many.
it a little bit differently than the rest of the country. I mean, it's kind of your thing up there.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I mean Halloween, is
Well, Halloween too.
You know,
But I mean, you find Halloween cutouts everywhere. But the only time I ever see Thanksgiving cutouts is New England.
yeah. Well, even me, I had never seen so many. I mean, there was just a ton of Beazle decorations and Thanksgiving stuff that I was like, wow. I don't know if maybe I'm more aware of it now than I used to be, but There's
Yeah, I
a
think
ton of it.
we just made the hand turkeys in school and put them on the fridge and just waited for Christmas.
It's a huge selection of classic Halloween
Oh
stuff in
yeah,
here.
like those
Huge
plates are
selection.
cool, little skulls. So much cute stuff.
Early masks.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just like piles upon piles of cool stuff in here, and
That looks like a vampire one down there.
yeah.
I didn't even notice that when I filmed this.
I know sometimes we notice stuff going back. We're like, oh man, we should have looked at that.
I've done that a lot, yeah. Yes.
Classic.
Love My Favorite Martian.
It's a great show.
This is the other thing too, is like when stuff like that is in glass cases, you have to go find somebody, which you got to walk all the way
It's
to
kind
the
of a
front,
pain.
then you got to go all the way back, and then you got to look through the stuff, and so it's
Yeah, it's kind of stinks when there's books and magazines in them because you can't really look through them properly.
yeah.
That's cool to see. I love the old promo stuff.
Nestle Quick. Did you like Nestle Quick?
I did. I used to put like my mom would always just buy like vanilla ice cream, and I was never content with just the vanilla, so I'd put the Nesquik powder over it.
Of course you would. That's you.
It was good.
That's such a you thing to do.
It's not that weird. Guys, comment and let me know that I'm not alone on this. And if not, go try it. What are you waiting for?
See more basil decorations.
So many random pilgrim die cuts.
I feel like I'm doing this voiceover with Lindsay Lohan right now.
Yes, if you've been following along and keeping score here, I'm on my 3rd week of not having a voice. All thanks to allergies and the wonderful weather that we've been having.
You got bit by Lindsay.
Yeah, I got bit by a Lindsay Lohan bug, and who knows when my voice will be back, but you guys seem to be enjoying it a lot more than I am, so I appreciate your kind words. And yeah, so guess you guys are going to get what you want for a little bit longer because I don't think it's coming back anytime soon.
So there's lots of Christmas stuff already in here.
Yes.
As you can tell, the holidays are coming, so you've got all the Thanksgiving stuff and the Christmas stuff. The Christmas stuff I do see a lot, but see, like you're looking at right here,
More pilgrims.
Beasel pilgrim cutouts.
Ah, here we go. Back to the pumpkins.
Back to the pumpkins, yeah. But there was just like it amazed me, and I don't know why I'm so aware of it now, but. And they were all sealed, too. And these are all around the whole store. It's not just one vendor. There were at least 10 vendors that had,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like they all found a box and divvied it up.
Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing that many.
No.
Okay, I'm going to move on from this topic. But, yes, it was kind of.
I see that all once in a while. It's cute.
That's the Monster Mash.
Yeah. And of course, we can't play that because we'll get a copyright strike. But you guys know the song. Sing it along.
Yeah, you should. And if you happen to run into Mr. Lobo, tell him it's your favorite song ever of all time.
At which point, you will get an explanation as to why there's other awesome Halloween songs. And there is. There are some really cool Halloween songs out
Monster
there.
Mash or GTFO.
You're the one that made the
I
episodes.
love this. I love this.
I know. It's
I
so great
love
to see
McBoo.
these. Like, you can smell the McNuggets in the plastic every
Yeah.
time you see those. That's cool.
I actually own Glenn Danzig's cat like that.
Yes.
His original Halloween decoration.
We do have that in the collection, and it is super cool. It's actually in pretty nice condition, too.
Yeah.
McGoblin, which is what Snackula turns into sometimes.
Amy's Pumpkins.
They light up. Can't take me anywhere. Now, that, of course, is a repro, but it's a lot bigger than the original one, and I think it's really cool, honestly. Always good to see him vampire.
There's your girl.
I love her.
Yeah, neat stuff in here.
Yeah, lots of good
But
to
this
see
is-
Peter Frampton 8 tracks.
Yeah,
That was a cool look.
people do collect 8-tracks.
I know they
There is
do.
a collector market for pretty much everything.
And lots of
you know.
Peter Criss, some Ace Frehley over there. It's a very random booth. It's cool to see some interesting variety over here.
Some 8-tracks sell for hundreds of dollars, too.
I know, it's crazy. It's like, who out there is doing it?
Yeah. They just, I don't know, collector market for everything. These cassettes were a little much.
Yeah, they're a little on the high end.
$22 for, I don't know, was it Striper or something?
Yeah.
James Brown.
Always good to see James Brown. And of course, this is one of those businesses probably Christmas year round,
Yeah.
if I had to
So
guess.
here we go.
More pilgrims and
More.
Native Americans and
More.
cornucopias and
I know it was a big deal. I even as a kid, I'm like, I was trying to remember if I remembered my mom decorating heavily for Thanksgiving, and I can only remember like a couple of things. I don't remember
Yeah.
her going crazy. Like,
and that is probably asbestos.
Christmas
What's
smell.
those mica flakes? So maybe
Yeah,
it's not.
I
But
don't know. I still wouldn't.
we're not opening
I wouldn't
it.
chance
We
it.
would not open that. No.
Nope. Say no to asbestos, kids.
If you come across an old box that says snow on it, don't open it.
Yeah, no.
Amateur night every Wednesday. The big pink monkey.
And if anybody knows about amateur night, it's Lindsay over here. That's
I
right.
mean,
See?
I get that money.
That's right. There's a history there. Anyway, so
I accept Venmo.
We've got the popcorn. I love that popcorn
Yeah.
snowman. I do love that. There are some. I love that one too. There are certain ones that remind me of just being a kid, and at some point I will pick up a couple of those popcorn because my mother loved those. She had so many of them. So I do want to pick up a couple of those at some point.
We've got Marilyn missing a shoe.
Yeah, what happened to Marilyn's shoe?
Yeah, I don't know.
So
It was a long night. She had a long night. I understand. I can sympathize with her.
you can relate to losing a shoe.
I don't know. Probably else. And there's your dad again.
A few of them.
Before we leave,
There's my 3 dads right there. I don't know which one's the real
it's a
one.
whole other spinoff. Garlu back there.
Yep.
And this was cool over here. There's like a little vinyl nook. But the coolest thing we didn't even realize was over here in the corner. We'll go back to it in a second. But sadly, it wasn't for sale. Check this out,
Yeah,
guys.
it's not for sale.
That is for the vacuform pumpkins.
Yep. Yep, it's a mold for a pump. Still, after all this time, you've not been to a Newport Creamery.
No, I'm starting to get a complex because I really want an awful. But at the same time, I'll feel awful after I eat it, so I'm gonna kind of need to.
That's true.
Oh my
Look
god,
at this little guy.
he's amazing.
This spot right here on this corner, a long time ago, you would
Used to work this corner?
have. I used to work this corner. That's
I
true.
heard that about you.
I did, in fact, used to work that corner right there. You know, not dressed provocatively, but very furry. So, I mean,
You were ahead of the curve.
I was way ahead of the curve. I was out there with a A&W Bear suit on, waving at cars and doing disco dances and all kinds of fun stuff. And so, if you ever remember the bear on the side of the road over there, waving at you or doing ridiculous dance moves, that would have been me.
Well, all the women say they choose the bear.
That's
So,
see,
again, you were ahead of
once
the curve.
once again I was ahead of the curve. Yeah, all the women would choose the bear. I'm not sure that did me any favors with the ladies, but there's
I
the
could still
A&W.
go for a float too.
Oh,
and the
this
fact that
this
it's
place
float-
is amazing. This
I know. I would love some cheese curds and a root beer float right
and
now.
this is like my whole life. It's always been here, and I don't know exactly when it was built, but it's been here for forever. So it's cool to see an original A&W location. This thing has been here for so long, and once upon a time I'd be working that corner like a champ.
Here, we've driven through one of these before. I don't know if it was in Patchen or not.
It's the little Scarecrow Festival. It's pretty cool.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. It's the Scarecrow Festival.
Yes,
That is
Sam.
cute. That's cute. Look at this. Yeah. That's a cool little shop there.
What is up? We are here on the streets of Putnam, Connecticut. You ever been on the streets of Putnam, Connecticut before?
No.
No,
Not yet.
definitely not. But we're here looking for classic monsters and cool stuff. And there's some really cool shops here, some cool antique stores. And this place, which is
Super cute.
how cool is that? That's like Chubby Dog Coffee. And there's
And
this,
Narky.
which is right here. We'll show you this because that's really cool. We love that. That's great. However, there's a great store here too, Wonderland Comics. So let's go take a look inside here and see what they got. And we'll hit the antiques. Right off the bat, Vampirella lives here. That's fantastic. Except Vampy lives in my house.
Bambi came to my house.
Bat Boy.
Uh-huh.
Remember Bat Boy?
My grandpa always had those magazines.
Yeah, look at the wall.
What's this?
This is crazy. Some classic Vampirella issues. That's cool. That's great. It's Toy Collector Magazine. Let's see what we got. Shop is cool when they carry Toy Ventures. And we've got multiple issues of Toy Ventures too, so.
And our friends at Monster Bash's magazine.
That's right. So you got
All of our friends.
Toy Ventures, Toy Collector, fantastic stuff, and Monster Bash. Yeah, this is such a great store here. If you're a comic person, comic guy, comic girl, whatever you're into, definitely a place worth checking out if you're in the area. They had everything from modern comics to vintage stuff to toys and various collectibles. It was really cool.
I like this Godzilla. He's so cute.
I know you've always been a Godzilla girl. You just love... Every time there's a Godzilla anywhere, you feel the need to play with it.
Yeah. I mean, you know. But, like, Imperial Godzilla is one of the coolest toys ever.
You love him.
This
and you
is
love
so
this.
cute. It's, you know, classic horror covers, but with dogs.
Yeah, how great is that? The old Creep Show cover. I love that. I'm gonna have to get a couple of these for Snackula.
Yes. We're going to start Snackula comic collection.
She'll be the comic collector.
Aww. Little comic collecting chihuahua. The comic chihuahua.
Yeah, we'll have her own channel. She like rates and reviews comics.
That would be so cute. Like, this gets 2 paws up.
Captain Company wallets. I love those old advertisements.
I know. They look
Anytime
so
you
cool.
just see those, it's just so great. And one thing I do like a lot now is that they're really embracing Captain Company stuff. I mean, you got Trick or Treat Studios is doing the masks, and there's other, you know, like you just saw in that case, there was some classic pre-code horror.
Pre-code car.
Yeah.
However you collect.
Which has nothing to do with Captain Company, but it's early stuff, and I'm glad that they're going back and taking a look at some of the really cool early artwork and bringing it into modern times so people can enjoy it, because some of that stuff is so iconic.
It really is.
I mean, the Captain Company stuff and the Top Stone stuff, and it's so iconic. You know, Shock Monster and the Mummy and the Vampire Girl. It really is. It really is just great stuff, and I'm glad that it's being embraced now in modern times.
Absolutely. And these are cool. Like, they still had a lot of the Halloween comics out, like the Wolfman one. That one's pretty cool. They had a bunch of neat little stuff with different little monsters and skeletons. And
Now, I have no idea what particular comic books sell really well these days. Is it horror? I would assume maybe it's horror.
yeah.
Is it still the classic Spider-Man, Batman, Superman stuff? If you're a comic collector, let me know, because I am curious. Like, is it still the classics? Is it something new? What's the big stuff, the big hot things in comics right now that people are going after? Let me know. I'd like to know.
So comment below. This is a cool book. It's a monster support group. I guess if I was ever going to go to a support group, it'd be a monsters one. Just so I can hang out with monsters.
Do you need support from monsters?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Addictions,
Only
maybe.
one way to find out.
Yeah.
Be like, I love mozzarella sticks. Wolfman be like, me too. And of course, always good to see Betty Page.
Coca-Cola painted up there in the building. Nikki's famous doghouse. That's cool. Stomping ground.
Smells good.
Does smell good. Yeah. Skeleton witch in the window. There it is. There's 2 of them. There's this one, and then there's the one on the other side too. So here we are now inside the Antiques Marketplace, and this store is like an illusion.
It really is.
It just goes and goes and goes. And even when you think you've gone into the 9,000 rooms that are on the first floor, there's multiple floors.
It really is. It's like the Twilight Zone in this place because every time you look at it outside, you're like, okay, it's probably like 2 floors, but it's really like 7.
Yeah, it's like, it's a big
And you're
place.
like, am I in another dimension? Like,
It is a really, really big place.
is there discounts here?
And it's going to take you some time to look through this store.
Yeah, you just chisel out the whole day. You're staying in Putnam. You got nothing else.
That's the great thing about Putnam, though. They got a lot of great little shops and little restaurants and little cool things that you can spend the day there. It's a cool place.
Yeah, it really is. And there's some cool little shops. There's obviously these really cool antique stores, and you can really make a whole day of it.
That's what I just said.
I know. But I'm letting them know with the Lindsay Lohan voice.
Oh, okay. It's better. I should just let you do this.
Yeah, right?
I had never seen that cover of Night of the Living Dead right there. That VHS cover.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was just a weird cover I'd never seen. Love it. Love the old advertisements.
Old Halloween advertisements are so
I
cool.
am a sucker for that stuff all day.
Yeah.
And in general. But I just love that kind of
And
stuff.
all night. And on weekends.
Wow. I learned it from watching you. Anyway,
Oh, boy.
So lots of cool stuff in this case.
Every antique store on Earth has one of those.
That Mark of the Devil, I don't even know why there's so many of those. They must have printed 9 million of them and never used any of them because they're everywhere.
Yeah, they just got sent to antique stores.
Yeah, they're
apparently.
in every state and every flea market and just everywhere you go.
Like, there's Beanie Babies harder to find than that thing.
I know.
Always cool to see the Wolfman. Now, this is weird. This isn't something that we're into, but we wanted to show you guys because it's just crazy that these exist. And they're just sitting in Connecticut.
Yeah, these are original serial killer letters, and it's crazy stuff. Yeah, I mean, this case right here was super eclectic. I mean, you're looking at the Ramirez thing, and then you got, like, the little Tommy robot that I used to play with when I was a kid sitting right in front of it.
But then there was some other stuff that was so inappropriate, we didn't even show it.
Yeah, we had to cut a lot of stuff out of there, so...
No matter what you're into, apparently, it's there.
It's there, yeah.
But Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is one of the greatest movies of all time. I love seeing the little Halloween postcards.
Yeah, vintage postcards. That's another thing. With Halloween collecting, there is just so much different, things you can get into. There's postcards and pins and die cuts and blow molds, and I mean, it really is
And Dune.
Dune.
And land sharks and sandworms.
Sandworms.
I want nothing to do with no sandworms. Those are cool.
Yeah,
I remember little Halloween certificates.
This
Those
case
are
had
cute.
some really cool stuff in it. I actually got at least one thing out of here.
There is a Drac deal coming up in here. You'll see in a moment.
I know I bought something here.
You were thinking about buying a couple things in here, but you decided on one, and it's coming up.
Yeah.
It's on the bottom shelf.
I know there was a couple of things I should have, I probably should. Like this was a good price for that. That
Yeah.
Spice Scout right there, I think it was it $50? I mean, that's a good price for that.
Yeah.
You don't normally see that. That's the guy I bought.
Yep.
There. But yeah, you don't normally see that. And, priced fairly too. They had really fair prices, and that's rare by itself in an antique store because a lot of times things are priced astronomical in antique stores.
Yeah, it's
like
usually
way overpriced a lot of times.
Either eBay prices are higher.
Yeah,
And
so
sometimes these booths sit for a while, and when the market fluctuates, they don't update the prices.
yeah.
So
So to see things fairly priced is a rare thing. So shout out to that vendor, whoever he may be,
yes, keeping it fair.
keeping it fair. We just whipped by some really cool vintage Halloween stuff, but
Yes.
great pieces nonetheless. And
Needs
that's
no
the-
introduction.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like I said, it's always a good time. To go look for Halloween stuff. People forget that that's when the vendors stock the booths. So if you're looking for classic Halloween stuff, that's the time to hit it.
Yep.
Just like Christmas or any other time. I mean, vendors do update their booths a lot of times. Not everybody does this. Sometimes you can go to vendor booths and 3 years later, it's still sitting there. But the ones who stay on top of it, they update regularly and change their stock around. And so there are different times of the year. We always go in the winter time because we're here up in the north, so the snow stops us a lot of time from being able to hit flea markets as much as we'd like to. So we do have to hit the antique stores.
So you have our word. We'll be bringing you some really cool antique stores
We're going to try.
this winter, but we're still
gonna
going to hit the
try.
flea. We're still going to go.
Travel all over the place and find some cool stuff for you guys to check out. And hopefully find some more Drac deals.
Yes.
This booth right here has some amazing stuff. That
Those are
Batman
awesome.
pencil case is amazing. I love that. I love 66 Batman era stuff. I just love the original stuff.
Definitely.
And there's so much of it. Jarts. Can't sell those.
No. But people still do everywhere anyway.
I think you just can't sell them online. I don't
Okay.
know what the full law is on those. I've read posts where people say that they're illegal. I'm not
Those are
sure
cute.
what the thing is on that, but I know you're not supposed to, because these days they're weapons. There's Tweaky,
Hey, he's so cute.
the Beatles.
You see them everywhere, I feel like.
I would imagine they probably sold a lot of those.
Well, yeah. They were,
I think those were, because if you think about it, you see a lot of the Munsters Remcos around. You see a lot of the Addams Family ones around. They're not, I'm not saying they're common, but you do see them a lot at conventions and different things. So
Yeah.
I think probably a lot of people bought those.
those are awesome.
Freakies. That's later era Freakies. It's not the, they look similar, but you can tell the difference between the early stuff and the later stuff. Herculoids. That's early.
Yeah.
Devil Mask. And the thing is, too, one thing I learned recently is a lot of times they would refer to, that character as Satan and not the devil. Like, I always
Yeah.
assumed it was the devil. I would assume, but, we were watching Perry Mason the other day with the Halloween episode of Perry Mason. That's got some great costumes in it, by the way. If you have not seen that episode, I cannot recommend it enough. There are some mind-blowing costumes in that thing, and watch it in slow motion if you're a costume nerd like me, because there's some great stuff in there. And in that episode, he's referred to as Satan.
Yeah. He
Which
literally
blew my
says
mind.
as a kid, like-
I thought that, I would have thought that they had, the costumes, because it says on the box a lot of time, devil, devil, devil.
Yeah.
But in that episode, and a lot of times I'll see it referred to on cards and stuff, it's like Satan.
I just went for it.
Yeah.
That's cute.
So there's my evil speech for the day. So anyway.
But speaking of which, you'll see a weird little tidbit at the end of the video, so definitely stay tuned for that. It'll give you a good laugh.
Yeah, I'm hyping you up for a future part of this episode.
Yes.
That's what that was.
It's
That
foreshadowing.
was eventually leading you to something. So you got to stay tuned. Keep watching because it's coming soon. Look,
That's hilarious right there.
He's rare.
I'll never understand. $350.
$350
Like,
for a princess bear.
What planet? This is why it's important to stay on top of trends. Because everybody thinks that like different pellets and different tags
Yeah.
make a difference. Like, okay, maybe like $1 or $2, but oof,
Yeah,
$350 is just too high.
That was not a Drac deal.
No,
That was a whack deal.
that
is
was
what
a Drac gasp.
Craziness.
And if they do go for that, I'm gonna go find all of them.
Yeah, they don't. You got to be a bozo
That's
to think
cute.
that.
Product placement. Or a secret agent.
There's the Dr. Durant secret agent mask.
Oh, yes. Go
Shout
check him out.
Shout out to Dr. Durant right there.
Lots of cool little things in this booth.
I know.
love the old record cases.
I always look to see if there's records in them. I
that's
always
cool.
do still look. Because I do collect the old 50s and 60s Monster 45 novelty records. So I'm always looking for that stuff too. So you always got to check inside.
Never know
Just
where you
like
can
why I
find
look through magazines to look for catalogs, I look through record cases to look for that stuff too.
them. Yes.
There's a love gun that had nothing in it.
For $45.
$45.
The Spaceman.
Yeah. That's cool.
That is really cool.
I know, I like that. It was a neat piece. A little creepy skull guy.
I love seeing the robots. There's a lot of robots here.
Yeah.
Cool little
And if
tin
you haven't
twins.
seen the episode that we did on the Robot Museum,
Yes.
please go check that out. That is an amazing place. If you love robots, go visit that place because it's awesome. And there's the Board of Education. That was something that was on the side of so many Italian refrigerators back in the day. That's where they would leave that.
The wooden spoon alternative.
I feel like my dad would have played with those little greeny caps there. I'll have to see. I'll have to ask him about that. That just seems like something that he would have.
Yeah. That would have fit him perfect.
Because once in a while I'll ask him, like, what did you play with when you were a kid, Because, like, expecting him to say, like, some cool stuff, and it's usually, like, things like that.
Oh, we had these cap guns.
Sometimes he'll tell me stuff like, oh, yeah, I had, like, a bow and arrow, and and I'm like...
It was bedrock. What'd you expect?
Were you hunting dinosaurs? Why did you have a bow and arrow?
Or you could have a finger dinger man.
Now, if anybody knows about Finger Dinger Man.
Anyway. And here is the 43rd floor of this particular antique store.
Yeah, we're up in the rafters now. Are we up in the rafters yet?
It's like a maze.
Have we gone all the way up here at this point?
I think so, because I think that's like the ceiling. But I'm also not sure because then it opens up into another room.
Actually, I don't think this is all the way up. This is the second floor.
Which would make sense from the outside. But guess what? There's more. There's another floor.
Yeah, it keeps going. That's an early pumpkin.
That's cool.
And there's you in devil form.
Always good to see some Coop artwork.
I've seen you kind of look a little bit Coopish.
I've been called worse.
Yeah.
These are cool to see.
I love the masks. I do.
And these ones would look amazing under blacklight.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. Lots of interesting packaging.
That's
here.
like a wacky pack bank. I've seen like a vampire one of them.
Wow.
But I haven't ever seen that particular one before.
Frampton.
Thinking man's football. For thinking men.
Like, what does that even mean?
I don't even know.
When the things your dad would tell you he played with.
That right there. The Huey Tiny He-Man.
That's funny.
And if anybody knows anything about Huey,
I like the Santa on the tricycle. Don't listen to him. Always good to see
pumpkins.
A big, giant treasure chest filled with pumpkins.
It's true.
But alas, no Renzi skulls. But I always hope. Or Glenn Strange bucket.
Renzi, yeah. Imagine that. Imagine finding one of those in that way.
That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing to find one like that.
It would. Some people do. It's just not us.
I forgot who it was. I think my friend Will actually found.
Amy. Amy found hers at a yard sale like that.
Yard sale for cheap. Yeah, crazy.
Like $1 or something.
Oh, cute. And they're pet friendly. So here's the other antique store that's around the corner, and I always recommend going into both of these stores because they have a totally different selection of stuff.
Yeah.
The two stores, and they make for a great afternoon of antiquing because they have a totally different variety, lots of cool stuff. So definitely hit both stores if you're in Putnam.
Yes, that's cool. This is like an old booth. I wonder what store or what restaurant it would be from.
I know,
one of you guys got to know, though.
It gives you like a Burger King kind of feel.
It's got Burger King vibes, that orange and the red.
Yeah.
So if you know, comment it. Let us know, because we don't know.
It's giving Burger King.
It's giving Burger King. Oh, God. I said I never talk like that. But this little particular booth had some neat stuff. Of course, some Frank Frazetta art. And there's some masks in here,
I like
too.
how you said, of course, like, that stuff's common to see.
Yeah, it's just,
Of course, Frank Frazetta.
Walk in any booth and they're just there. What mask is this?
I knew the name of this. It's like Cucula or I don't know. It's something along those lines. Not anything I was really familiar with. It's from before my time. But it was something like that. Like, I don't know, Cucula, something.
The Sea Witch.
Somebody will know. But it's something like that. Sea Witch missing her 3D eyes. Kukla. Kukla, that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's Kukla. I wasn't familiar with it. It's way before my time.
Okay.
But the Sea Witch, that's a Drac deal.
Very cool.
Frankenstein ring skulls. That's a cool one. See, they'll say vintage, but it's like, I can't.
You don't know.
I can't tell for sure. That's kind of like my my MO, I guess, is to take a look at the other eras of stuff. And now that I'm seeing like modern Legos, some other reproduction stuff, but there's also some vintage too, so it's tough to say. But when you see like modern stuff mixed in, modern Star Wars and stuff, then this type of stuff becomes even sketchier, because you're like, I'm not sure. Could be, but I'm not sure. So I'm gonna pass on that, because they do look like repubs. It's cool. Monsters and Monster World in the back. That's pretty cool. The safaris. I love surf music, especially old school surf. I love that. So that's right up my alley right there too. Love that. Guys got some cool stuff in there. Some really. You got the Little Richard. That's cool. Great picture sleeve. That's great. Some Batman rings. Those are interesting. And those were great. I had to pick those up. Those were 1966 original bubblegum Batman rings. And anytime you find cool stuff like that for a really good price, you got to grab it. I love old bubblegum stuff. So those were neat to find for sure.
Yeah, those are cool. And here we've got Spider-Man.
Is that Mary Jane?
I believe that is Mary Jane.
Jeez.
She's looking a little different these days.
She looks good. Not too bad. These
Driving
are the
Peter Parker crazy.
no doubt.
Always good to see tin monsters.
Yeah, these are the Japanese tin robot monsters. Those are great. There's a few cool things in here. The reproduction of the Big Frankie there. Great model. The classic Big Frankie. That one glows in the dark, though. So how cool is that?
Even better.
It's got to be amazing, all set up on display. And
That's cute.
yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas inflatable pumpkin from the A&W promotion.
I'm not familiar with that.
I remember that promotion. It was a big deal. They used to actually have the big pumpkin, a giant pumpkin, on top of the A&W restaurant.
Oh, okay. I think you may have shown me a picture of that at some point.
Yeah.
I did not see that. But here, of course, we've got a Mego Gene Simmons. Always cool to see him.
Gene Simmons. What's your favorite part of Gene Simmons?
Was this a trick question? I mean, I'm assuming I'm just supposed
His voice, is it bass playing, his appearance?
I just think his
tongue?
his character's cool.
Okay.
I'm not going to be cliche and say the tongue.
Okay.
It's too easy.
All right.
But, no, the character's pretty cool. I love that Gene Simmons was a monster kid growing up. And he drew his inspiration for his character, the demon, from his love of monster movies. So,
It's true.
but the tongue, too.
I knew you were going to say that. There's some great stuff in this case right here. You got that. Yeah, the Aurora Bride of Frankenstein. You never, ever see that boxed.
You really don't.
That's a tough model to find, and there's one sitting there in the box. Pretty cool piece. The Garage Kid of the Invisible Man. Lots of neat surf stuff, and of course,
Always. The Mark of the Devil barf bag.
the most common item you will find next to the Pyrex bowls
Yeah.
is a Mark of the Devil bag.
We want to know what you guys think are like the top 3 things that you find in every single antique store. Of course.
Character glasses,
Yes.
Pyrex bowls, and
The Mark of the
Mark
Devil
of the
bag.
Devil bag.
I think there's like an inspector that comes out and makes sure you have one before you open your antique store.
Seriously. That was great to see an old school Green Ghost game, though.
Yeah.
The prices on them have come down tremendously.
Yeah, they used to be way up.
a way higher game, and it's come down a lot.
Mm.
I was sad to see this mask broken.
I know.
It's like it just seemed like an unloved costume, and that kind of bummed me out. If I could have given myself an excuse as to why I should have grabbed that, I probably would have. But
It sounds like you just
I know
did.
I try not to be a hoarder. I felt sad for that thing, though.
That's valid.
Unlike that Stray Cats thing, I didn't feel sad for that.
Yeah, no.
Although I like the Stray Cats.
They're all right.
But
Nothing wrong with the Stray
Brian
Cats.
Setzer's super talented.
He's a very talented guy.
Talented guy. Keeping rockabilly alive.
That's true.
Some great stuff in here. This is like hot rod culture here.
Yes.
You know, this whole stand is like all hot rod stuff. Which, it's a popular thing.
Yeah.
Sock it to me.
Was that like a trash can?
Yeah. Yeah, and sock it to me was a saying on a famous show. So if you know, put it down there in the comment box below.
Yes.
Anyway, this rack right here, that rack is worth more than all the comics that are on it. And maybe that one is too. But that
Maybe.
that comics rack, those are super highly collectible and really valuable. So if you come across one of those, buy it because they're worth hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, and they're such a great display piece.
Oh, they're perfect. That's why they're worth so much. People want them. I mean, if you're going to have a comic room or even just a cool toy room, like you got to have one of those. They're just fantastic to put magazines on, comics. It's it's awesome.
Oh, yes. And I, of course, find Beavis and Butthead in here. I've always loved Beavis and Butthead.
Yep, you're excited to have found them.
Very much so. And you got these Burger King monster toys here.
Yeah, that's probably the coolest promotion ever.
Yes.
Fast food promotion. That's another question. What do you think is the coolest fast food promotion ever? I got to go with those. The Universal Monster figures were just off the charts cool. That and the McDonald's Halloween buckets.
Oh, absolutely.
That's my top
So
two.
much nostalgia that goes with those.
Yeah. But we want to know, what's yours? Put it down there in the comment box and let us know.
Yes. And here, just a little bit more of the shop before we head home. That's cool, Outer Limits.
So that's it, Putnam, Connecticut. Great little town, very cool shops. If you're a comics guy, there's a ton of comics in all these different shops, lots of cool stuff, and of course the comic book store over there. But we found some cool vintage finds, so Drac deals have been made. We'll show you that. I'm sure it already popped up in the episode. But if you find yourself in Putnam, Connecticut, because you just never know where you might end up, check out the shops here and find some cool stuff. Find some Drac deals. And then let me know about it so I can be jealous. Right?
Yes,
And stay tuned.
to Dark Eye Dracula.
I'm curious what he's doing.
He's got a cake.
Okay.